The quantum observer. Do you change the simulation by noticing it? Welcome back. I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the introduction to the series Simulation Theory or Prompt Theory. Let's ask the question most scientists refuse to say out loud: what if reality doesn't exist until you look at it? This isn't just provocative, it's experimentally supported. The closer we study the behavior of particles at the quantum level, the more we find ourselves confronting a strange but consistent pattern. Reality behaves like a simulation, and your attention may be the prompt. Wave function collapse. Reality waits for you. In the early 1800s, Thomas Young's double-slit experiment exposed something bizarre. Light behaves differently depending on whether or not you observe it. Fire photons through two slits, and they form an interference pattern, a sign of wave behavior. But observe which slit each photon passes through, and suddenly the wave pattern vanishes. The particles act like, well, particles. What changed? Only one thing: the act of observation. This quantum phenomenon is called wave function collapse. Particles in a quantum field exist in multiple potential states, known as superposition, until observed. Observation collapses this field of probabilities into a single reality. Like a choose-your-own-adventure novel, the ending doesn't exist until you turn the page. Your gaze is not passive, it's decisive. Rewriting the past with the present. The 1999 delayed choice quantum eraser experiment took this further. Scientists created a setup where the decision to observe a particle occurred after the particle had already passed through the slits. The result? The past behavior of the particle changed based on a future observation. Observation doesn't just alter the present, it rewrites the past. In simulation terms, this is called lazy loading. Nothing renders until the user arrives. It's a standard programming method in games and digital environments. Only load the portion of the world the player will interact with. The rest? It stays as background code, unrendered until needed. If our universe behaves the same way, we're not just living in a simulation. We may be actively prompting it. Consciousness as rendering engine. In both computing and physics, we now see the same principle echoed. Observation triggers generation. Your perception determines what loads. Your awareness collapses uncertainty into outcome. This isn't metaphysics, it's mechanics. And yet metaphysics got there first. In yogic philosophy, Hermeticism and Taoism, the idea that attention shapes reality isn't radical. It's foundational. You are not a passive viewer of the world. You're a participant in its construction. Your mind as cursor. The human nervous system already operates like a filter. The reticular activating system, RAS, in your brain selects what to show you out of millions of available sensory inputs. You see what you expect to see. You filter reality through belief, memory, and focus. In neuroscience, this is cognitive selection. In quantum physics, it's wave function collapse. In prompt theory, it's input-output response. You render what you're prepared to witness, not what exists, what you're ready to interface with. That's not a metaphor, that's structure. Reality mirrors AI. This is where artificial intelligence tightens the metaphor. In a generative AI system, you start with a prompt. Infinite possibilities exist in the latent space, but only one renders, based on your phrasing, tone, clarity, and emotional charge. Quantum fields behave the same way. So does your perception. The outcome isn't static, it's generated. Your consciousness, like an AI prompt, collapses what could be into what is. You don't get every possibility. You get the version your prompt supports. The participatory universe quantum physicist John Wheeler called this a participatory universe. He proposed that reality isn't fully formed until it's engaged with, that consciousness doesn't emerge after the universe, but co-creates it. We are part of a universe that is still coming into being, he said. That sounds less like a clockwork model and more like a live rendered interface. Now extend that to your own life. What if your beliefs, expectations, and attention create a feedback loop that determines not just how you feel, but what shows up? Every time you look for a pattern, angel numbers, repeated symbols, songs that match your emotions, it appears. Not because it was planted there, but because you prompted it. The observer and the prompt. If this system holds, we must rethink the architecture of power. Attention is the input. Observation is the command. Reality is the output. That means even your lack of attention holds power. What you withdraw energy from loses rendering priority. Toxic systems, dysfunctional relationships, fear-based media, they survive on observation. The less you feed them, the faster they dissolve. You unrender what you no longer prompt. This isn't avoidance, it's interface design. Prompting the field. So what happens if you become intentional with your prompt? You stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What did I input?" You stop expecting the worst and start rendering what you actually want to encounter. You stop looping unconscious code and begin scripting reality with awareness. This shifts your identity from passive experiencer to conscious prompter. Who observes first? One final riddle remains: who prompted first? Is there a master observer, a source consciousness, divine coder, or initiating prompt? Most spiritual traditions agree on this point, regardless of language. In the Bible, God spoke the world into existence. In Vedic philosophy, is the primordial vibration. In physics, the Big Bang. They all reference the same function, an originating prompt, a cosmic attention that collapsed the first field. Maybe that was a singular being, or maybe it was the beginning of a multi-user simulation, one where each consciousness becomes a co-renderer of experience. Either way, you're no longer just a character in the story. You're part of the codebase. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.